Now, let's start with the indicator of revenue per customer. So that's weighted 25%, as you can see. So let's do that under the revenue per customer column. So we're going to multiply that by 0.25. And then we're going to take the proportional difference between the data revenue indicator for revenue per customer and subtract that from the target, which was 50, as you can see over here. Here's the 50 and here's the weight. Close the parenthesis and divide that by the data value. And then we're going to drag that on down for the other stores, 4, 5. Now let's do the revenue per square foot indicator. The weight there is 30%, so 0.3 times. Now the proportional difference between the data minus, and as you can see, the target is to be over 100, so 100. And as a proportion or ratio to the data. And we'll drag that on down. Now the next one, we want to make sure that that's not minus if they're operating under their targets. So we're going to have to change that around, as it says here. It says this somewhere. I think it's, well, here, I'll let you look at it. No, let's just do this and then I'll let you look at it. So for the energy cost per square foot, we're going to weight that 15%, so 0.15 times. Now we're going to say target minus data. So the target is under 50 cents, so 0.5 minus the data, which is this, and then divide that by the data, and drag that on down. I'll show you where it says that in just a minute. Now, revenue per worker hour, the weight for that was 20%, so 0.2 times. Here's your data, minus. Now the target was to be over 300, so 300 divided by the data, and then drag that on down. And then finally the loss per revenue. Now that's another one where we want it to be under a certain amount. So if they're doing under that amount, we don't want it to be a minus value. So we're going to do that equals, and look at the weight, 10%, 0.1 times. So we're going to say the target, which is also 0.1, minus the data. Here's your data. And divide that by the data. And drag that on down. And then we're going to add all these up. So let's get the total EI, efficiency index. That's just going to be the sum because you've already got the weights here. So equals SU sum, double click on sum and highlight this. And then drag that on down. So what that says is that's operating at a little under 12% efficiency. And you look at the one that's the most efficient is the fourth store, whichever one that was Boston. And the one that's operating at least efficiency is the last one, which is Somerville. And maybe we could see why that is if we look at some of the indicators. Well, you can see that for the one that's operating so nicely that its data values are so large, but its energy cost is also more than it should be. But anyway, there you have it. Now I promised to show you that bit about the minus. It says here, in the case of energy costs and loss, the goal is for the target to be less than the data value. So that's the other way around. Okay, and that's it.